Ready. Check Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. That's right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. That's right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. I said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rewriters Room. We are the men with the pen. I am one of your hosts, 1/3 of our trio, Armand. I am vegan chorizo papi, founder of Ball Nigga Ballers. I am the 7th Elimination Chamber participant. Giving y'all a little spoiler now, they are going to add someone to the match, and it's going to be me. I have no goal other than eliminating Bobby Lashley. I don't need the title. I just need to get him out of here, get his road to Wrestlemania on to something else, because we don't need him anywhere near that title anymore. Now, before we get into before our second, another one of our trio gets into his immaculate intro, it's great to have him back. And, I think his brief journey to AEW, I don't think it was fulfilling enough. So much like Cody Rhodes, he has come back to join us. Cece, how you feeling, man?
You know what I mean? I got my black girl, my neck tattoo. I'm out here. What's good? It's CC, the best rapper and producer in the whole wide world. God body, because I consume for healthy products and do towel curls, benevolent servant to the earth and philanthropist. Every phrase I say is a gem, like an amethyst. Yeah! You see that nigga over there? Put that nigga next to me real quick. Go ahead. Go grab that nigga. Go get him. I'll wait. Yeah, go grab him. All right, well, how you doing, man? You see those girls over there? They're looking at you like, whose man's is this? I may talk a lot, but I only got one thing to say. Love yourself and keep going. You are the world, so give all you can. Take care of your body, your people, and your land. Check. Where my nigga Chan?
What's good? Reporting live from the mid-cards, leader of the mid-card mafia, Chan. I've said it before. I've said it many times. There are some certainties in life. Death, taxes, and Dolph. You see my boy pulling double duty this week? 2 shows, TV time. I'm just saying, man. It's a lot of wrestlers, man. A lot of me as much TV time as Dolph. I'm just talking about numbers, bro. Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't lie, bro. It's Dolph. RIP, bro. It's Dolph, bro. He's getting to get his swing right now. I'm happy to see my boy, just getting TV time like he always does.
Absolutely. One thing about Dolph is he's going to stay present on our TVs, whether we like it or not. Run from it. But Dolph will always be present. We got to plug our Patreon, the A Show RNC. Of course, you can tap in to bonus content from the A Show, from the War Report. Legendary Run episode 2 is out, talking about Batista's 2005 run. Great episode from Justin and Cyrus. They're doing their thing, so make sure y'all tap into that. Spot callers, of course. The X8 Diaries from Meals is coming very, very soon. We got some fun questions on the Patreon for y'all to answer. There's a lot of engagement. So if you are not subscribed to the Patreon, what are you waiting for? We told you if we get 200 subscribers, the Rewriters are going to do something special. We have not figured out what that is yet. I really just want to get into a triple threat street fight with CC and Chan, to be honest. Like, I really think that they couldn't handle it. It might as well be a handicap match. So I think that we are going to, I was going to say simulate, but in real life, I'm pulling up, I'm coming down to Florida, hitting CC with a sledgehammer. I'm flying to Ohio. I'm hitting Chan with a jackhammer, and yeah, we just, we're going to get it popping. So
I'm pulling that Brock angle, bro. I'm laying on the table all match. Just put a table on me, get 20, I'll get up, a couple of 5s, get out of there.
Let's jump into this pre-write. So actually, I want to start with you, Chan. I mean, it has to be a very exciting time for Mid-Card Mafia, because one of your own will more than likely be making his return to WWE. It's to some say it's already done, some say it's rumored, but he left AEW, and I just want to say I told y'all niggas that AEW was just going to collapse. But Chan, how you feeling as Mid-Card Mafia has been bolstered by yet another perennial mid-carder?
I just feel like what don't people understand about money?
Mm-hmm.
It's not this shit. This shit that like y'all care about wrestlers. This is their job, bro. They're trying to maximize their income. It's always been about that. So I don't know why people are surprised. They're like, there was never going to be a world where every single person who joined AEW was just going to die on the cross of AEW and just not get paid, bro. AEW is a wrestling company just like everybody else. It is kind of funny that one of the founders left. Like that's hilarious. It'd be like if I don't know, fucking Mace was like, yeah, I'm over Bad Boy. I'm gonna go join Death Row. I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. Like that, of all people, that's kind of funny. But it's like I do think, as I said last week, I think he heard me when I said that the Miz and Maurice are the greatest mixed tag team of all time. I feel like he did hear that, and he accepted the challenge, which I respect. I love a mixed tag. So,
Brandy, and he's taking it literally because they are mixed. A mixed.
They
couple.
are mixed. They are super mixed. Watching the TV show. The next level. They might be the greatest mixed tag of all time.
Double Auntie Andre.
I will say though, before I get off, Brandy, I'm about to leave the promos at the house, bro. We do not do that over here on Peacock, bro. We do not do that.
There's real black girls on Peacock.
Yeah,
on
we
Fox.
do. We
on
do
USA.
No black belt, black bitch. We do not do that on live television. I am so sorry, mama. We do cut that
just
out.
Imagine her calling Bianca Belair a fucking heifer. Just imagine that. Imagine that.
Insane. So I really want the best for you, Brandy, because I do like you seem like a very like nice person, like good business mind, but like you just leave some of that. The Medea promos just leave the house.
Nigga called it the Medea promos.
It sounds like some Tyler Perry shit. Like Tyler Perry wrote that.
Now when she come on Raw, when she come on Raw talking about Heller, now you have to put your foot in your mouth.
Hey man, they got a TBS championship. Be on Jay Cargill, meet the Browns. I'm one step away.
CC, what you got for the pre-write, my guy?
Man, it's time to rock the boat. I'm doing this all episodes, so if you're not really here for this, it's probably your time to stick around and enjoy the pain. Be a masochist for once, stop being a bitch. Speaking of rock the boat, it's time. I'm making a bold ass prediction right here, right now. What day is it? February 15th, Vengeance Day, NXT 2.0, but also the day that CC predicted that Aliyah will become the next leader of the women's division. Oh shit, what? That don't make no sense. Gosh. Yeah, I know, nigga. I know. I can tell. But here's the thing. I've been watching Aliyah for these last couple weeks. There's one thing that stood out every single time. She's got some work to do on her timing for the moves. I caught her a couple times waiting for Natty or something like that to do her moves. She's also, obviously can hit the gym a little bit more or whatever, eat, pack on the pounds or whatever if she want to like be muscly or whatnot. She's got some work to do. All of that shit is fixable. You know what you can't teach? It. You can't teach it. And one thing that I saw from this girl as I'm watching her is she really has this ability to communicate the story that she's telling in the ring to the crowd. And the way that she does it is not on the level of a lot of people favorites and stuff like that. It's on the level of the kids, of exactly who they're trying to sell to. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. I was watching her and I'm looking at her and I'm like, yo, this girl is like, she knows how to do the storytelling with her partner in the ring the same way. And I'm not saying like she's on this level yet or whatever, but just in the same vein and the same kind of themes as like John Cena, to where, and like the Hulk Hogan, to where it's very like, what's going on? What? Where it's like you're kind of overacting a little bit, but it's the right amount of overacting if you're a kid or whatever. But the other thing about it is I can see her getting like her shit together on the mic over as time goes. So like with that personality, if she can inject more of that and then work on what she's got on the side, I see her becoming a very, very, very important part. Because you have to remember, like Channing said, this is a job. This is a business. And in business, you try to sell your best products. how do you determine what a best product is? Sometimes it's straight up talent and how it performs. Sometimes it's how the people react to it. And other times it's how that shit looks. We got to acknowledge the fact that this nigga bad as hell. And like Aliyah bad as shit.
You're
like
fine,
that's just
man.
the thing. Or whatever,
Natty
right?
fine too, but Aliyah really
so yeah, so like you take this and you shout out to Toronto, you take this and you pair that up with the personality and shit like that. I'm already seeing it. If I want to sell some t-shirts, as soon as I saw her in a 317, I was like, I know that's not really going to do numbers like that, but the minute I saw her on it, I was like, that's a model. I can use her to model shit. And that's what niggas is not getting about this business. It's a fucking business. They trying to get shit off. When I watched SmackDown on Friday, you know what the first shot I saw was? A kid holding his Universal Championship belt up in a crowd that you can go get on WWE.com. Because
and
these
them
niggas
shit's
is not
not
stupid.
cheap. Man, them shits is not cheap, boy.
Yeah.
Them shit is expensive.
So yeah, I see her becoming I don't know about the leader, but I see her becoming a leader in the women's division for the simple fact that she is very, very good for business. And y'all gonna see how good she is for business coming in the future. I'm telling you, I can see that shit. I know money. That's money.
Yeah. I've liked what she's doing too. I definitely agree with your critique. She can improve, but she's just got something. It's compelling TV. She's like a weird, quirky person, but I don't know. I like it, especially at the expense of Natty, which is why I was kind of like, damn, they really made her tap out to Natty. But she got 3 booth wins off. Actually, it's weird. She pinned her first, and then she won by countout.
Set a record,
and then she won by DQ, and then she taps out in their dungeon stuff. I mean, it makes sense. Like, Natty losing 4 times in a row to Tyson Kidd wouldn't let that happen. So I can completely understand. But to get the pin first and then win off of some DQs and technicalities and only to tap out, it's like, all right, whatever. But I think she's going to be fine. I completely agree. Like, I like everything she's doing. And it's a fresh face in the women's division, which they needed, especially SmackDown's women's division, which is super lacking right now. Like, even the top of it, like Ronda's there now, which is awesome. I love, but Charlotte, I'm over it. Like, Charlotte's character hasn't evolved. Her promos, you know what she's gonna say, you know what she's gonna do. It's just not interesting to me. So Aliyah coming up is great for the division. So I completely
she does
agree.
it so well.
Charlotte,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of like when your girl makes a really good meal and then you tell her she makes a really good meal, so she keeps making that same meal over and over and over. It doesn't stop being good, but it's like, yo, you ain't got nothing else in the tuck. Like,
I see what you're saying, but that analogy, it will be like if she always made pizza and her father invented pizza. So it's like, yeah, I get it, but I kind of get why you always make pizza, because like your dad is like really integral to pizza.
I think her character needs to take a turn, because I see what you're saying, Armand, and I do see what you're saying, Channing. Like, the formula always is there. Like, as soon as she comes out to talk, I'm like, this is not going to go terrible. Like, I'm not worried about this. But when she said like my belt is prettier than baby, that shit felt so flat with me. I was like, all right, that's a weird thing to say. I think, I don't know.
Getting into one of the free ride questions, I think she should partner with Rhea Ripley. I think they could both use each other, kind of like what they did with Nikki, but instead of like the comedic thing being Nikki being small and like Rhea being the straight man, I think having Charlotte being like the pretty perfect older sister and Rhea being like the younger bad sister, but they like are also kind of like the mega powers because like nobody can really fuck with them. I think the women's tag division could sorely use that, and I think it would give them something interesting to do, because the thing with Charlotte is like, even when she like has, you know, I mean, this is kayfabe and depending on how much real life you want to get into it, when she has partnerships and like friendships, they truly fall apart. And so it's like she needs like for her like babyface character to have something, and I think Rhea could give her that while also giving Rhea something compelling to do besides like just eating pins from Bianca, which, you know, I'm never against Bianca getting a win, but it's like at certain points, like you don't want to always be little sis to Bianca.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. Yeah. Quickly for my pre-write. So we've seen these segments on Raw for the last like month or two. Alexa Bliss in therapy, and we've seen her character slowly revert back to who she is now. And it culminated this past Monday with her having her final therapy session, and her therapist telling her, oh, Lily is still in there. Like, you know, keep Lily with you. And then she walks out and she says, oh, there's an Elimination Chamber match happening Saturday. I'm going to enter it. And I just felt like that was the most underwhelming reveal for who the final competitor was going to be. And I mean, maybe that's because we were all speculating, maybe it's Bayley, maybe it's Asuka, maybe it's Lacey Evans, maybe it's Beth Phoenix. And I'm a big fan of Alexa Bliss. I've become a big fan over the years. I really liked her little fiend-esque character. And I like her character when she's, normal, just being a bitch to people. But I don't know. I just felt like they could have done more with that. Like, have her come out after Bianca wins and have her beat Bianca to get the 6th spot. Because now it's also calling into question, like, Bianca winning the gauntlet match to get the final entry. Like, is she for sure going to win? Like, I think we all feel like the Becky Bianca is the direction for the chamber. But I think it would have been a really good look to have Bianca start the match and then run through the competition rather than coming in last. Like, if she comes in last and pins everybody, then that's still really good. But I feel like for a baby face, it's got to be a little bit more adversity than that. So
I feel like the only reason they won't do that is because since you had the Elimination Chamber session, I was looking at them, and Shayna did that like 2 years ago.
She didn't come in first though. She came in like 3rd, I think.
But she eliminated everyone.
Right.
And it's like, I think that was literally 2 chambers ago. And I think you can have like a similar storyline. I think that's like, to your point, it's the same thing with like the Royal Rumble. Starting earlier always is a better story than coming in at 30 and winning.
Yeah.
But if you just had someone like win, if coming from 2, you can't like run that back so frequently. I feel like it must have been there thinking, because what you're saying is completely right.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, with Alexa, I feel like she was over before she took her break. Like, she was super over. So even if you want to move away from the Fiend-esque character, like who was she before that? She was a babyface with Nikki, but the character that I think people know her as the most is that like bitchy blonde girl. So you have her come out and screw Bianca, get the final entry, and kind of create that doubt. Like, are they going to run Becky Bliss at Mania and then have Bianca pin her in the chamber? Like, I don't know. I feel like that would have been a lot cooler. But yeah, it was just a really it was a really odd fumble. Like, I feel like they could have done so much more with that. I'm interested to see how she does in the match. She hasn't wrestled in months. But yeah,
Charlotte? That was last time she wrestled? When she wrestled?
What was last time? It was Charlotte at Extreme Rules, and then she like had that spaz attack after the match, and then she went away.
Right. Gotcha.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like more could have been done with that, and perhaps it's our expectations, our speculation of who we thought it could be. But I'm not mad at it. It just could have been handled a lot better.
Definitely.
So that's really it.
Also, I think there's something to like all of the Saudi Arabian shows always feel a little thrown together. Like, it's always like, oh, we're just throwing this together. Like, even like the tag match with like Ronda and Naomi and like Sonya and Charlotte's like, I get why we're having this match, but like, it feels like you just decided this last week and then like made it happen. And I feel like the Lex thing somewhere, it's like, I get why she's in the chamber, but it feels like you decided that like this episode and tied it in through the therapy thing.
Yeah, there was like news of the match potentially happening that came out earlier this week, but I think Saudi Prince made that call like, Ronda's back? Yeah, but we got to get her in something. I need that. Yeah, Ronda's not going to do a singles match before her main event singles match. It's like, all right, let's toss Naomi in there. I'm happy. That's a great look for Naomi.
Yeah, not turning down a bag either. She's not turning down no money either.
Absolutely not. Great look for Sonya. It'll be good to see Sonya kind of in more of an in-ring capacity, because I liked the WWE official character, and it's kind of gotten flat with me, especially throughout this Naomi storyline that's been pretty long. So
kind of racist.
I just tried to avoid that, but it's only natural.
It's felt a bit weird at times. Like, why is she picking on her so hard again? Like,
yeah, especially because like there's been no specific motivation that's been provided as to why she's doing this. She's just picking on her. Like, there's been allusions to jealousy, but overall it just seems like literally the moment Naomi came to SmackDown, Sonya was on her ass. It's like, why? Like, there's so many. There's people who have been here longer that you can.
Mandy Rose put you out of the company. Like, go see her. Like, talk to her.
You could go down to NXT. NXT and it needs a GM right now. William Regal not there. Like, come on.
Literally. Whoa. Talk about a rewrite. Whoa.
Yeah. Especially because like, what was the point I was gonna make? Like, SmackDown didn't necessarily need her. Like, it was cool to have her as a foil for Adam Pearce, but I don't know. It like the way they introduced her was really random. Like it just kind of happened, and we just kind of had to like accept.
They showed her like walking around for like a couple weeks in the background.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, so I guess she is back here, and then she starts like bossing people around.
Like, making decisions. Like, oh,
sure,
all right.
Or is she like? And then it was like, is she just like the women's GM? Like, or like, what is she exactly? Yeah. It was odd at first.
She trying to hit, bro. It's very simple. It goes back to preschool or whatever. When it's just like, why does girl keep hitting me? She trying to smack. I think that's the storyline. Boom. They gonna have Sonya.
Was Jimmy be into that?
Yeah, and then here's the thing. When's the last time we got like because didn't Jimmy last time they ran it? Jimmy was getting caught up with wasn't it Mandy?
Mandy, yeah. It was
right.
It was while they were team.
So boom, they're gonna flip it the other way, and now Naomi gonna get caught up with Sonya or whatever. Jimmy gonna be like, "What's going on?" But instead, Jimmy gonna be like, "I mean, what's going on?"
What's really funny though is that if it was 1997, this would literally be happening. Like that is exactly what Vince would have put on television. It's like,
here's the thing,
goddamn right.
I've been watching 1998, 1999. I'm about to get into 2000 WWE or whatever. The thing that I just won't discount is Vince McMahon being Vince McMahon. I'm so sorry, but he is who he is.
Yeah.
I'm never going to let anything go past that. I know he has a multi-billion-dollar company to run and stuff like that or whatever. Like they made I think it was almost $2 billion last year or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, I know, you got a boardroom that's never going to let certain shit fly and stuff like that. But, I don't know. Why not?
It was, you think about it, and we can't let it go after this, but you think about it, there were a lot of storylines about Vince getting some pussy. Like it was like there was like
too much.
A lot of storylines. Like as a
and
kid,
his wife
you don't
was
really
right
think
there.
About his actual wife was involved. It was like you think looking back, I'm like, yeah, he was like dealing with Trish Stratus a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot.
Stable.
Yeah.
Bro.
It was like he wrote himself into that a lot.
Like they literally, and it felt so real when you're young. It's like, they really they played out what could have been real marital issues on TV for our entertainment. Like
I really thought he was having sex with Trish Stratus. Like, I legitimately thought that.
Genuinely. Let's jump into this free write though. So we got news that WWE is in talks with Stone Cold Steve Austin to return at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. Immediately when I got that news, I thought they're going to go stunner versus stunner because KO has been talking about how much he hates Texas and all this stuff. And who's going to come out and defend Texas? It's not going to be Mark Henry. It's not going to be Booker T. It's going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin, the most popular Texan within the WWE. So thoughts on Stone Cold Steve Austin returning to the ring for the first time in like almost 20 years, I think, 20 years, and how that match with KO would go. And if he were to stick around, who would you have him face next and where?
So here's the thing. One, I've been feeling this shit in my bones for a year and a half. It was something about, I don't know when I saw it, but there was like one time I like saw Stone Cold and he was either talking about the business or like working with someone, talking to someone in the business about something. And there was like this look in his eye when they were talking about being in the ring. I was like, this nigga want to wrestle. Like I just looked at him. I'm like, yo, this nigga really want to wrestle. I could see it or whatever. And he over there looking at Rock, who's still in shape like a motherfucker and could come back and do this shit at any time or whatever. And niggas got pride. When you at the top like that, you just like niggas who make it to that level just have a certain ego or whatever. There's no way he doesn't feel like, all right, I'm watching this nigga go crazy. Like, how can I not go crazy? And he has to know that, I mean, this is not a secret. We all know that at some point in the next like 2 years, The Rock is about to make his return. Like with Roman going crazy like he is, we all know that The Rock about to do something, whatever. So Stone Cold probably like, feeling that too. Like we're in, let me see if I can do it. So I like it. I think here's the thing though. I think both for the KO match and for if he is to come back, this is how it's gonna go. He is squash match shouty. Like that's Stone Cold. You remember that video of that everybody always circulates of like every popular wrestler from our childhood coming out to the ring or whatever, and then he comes out last and stunners everybody. That's literally what he's gonna be there to do, plus like do some GM shit. So it's gonna be like stunnering niggas and then doing GM shit in the mix or whatever, like blah blah blah. That's where I could see him. That's where I would put him, to be honest. Stone Cold as a GM is fucking amazing. Like, yes.
That would be great, especially because like I loved when SmackDown had their own GM and Raw had their own GM, and now we got Adam Pearce and Sonya on both shows. And I don't know, I don't like it. Like if it's split, keep it split. So Stone Cold on Raw, Adam Pearce on SmackDown, that's cool. And plus they're both bald white men ballers. I wasn't gonna call them, they ain't part of the black nation, but they both bald. I can see some fun stuff happening because Adam Pearce is like he's bossed up a little bit as a GM lately, but he's still real timid and stuff. So like Stone Cold bullying him would just be amazing, to be honest. Like,
bro, this is what I'm saying. Like, think about this. Like, what if, like, whether or not they own 2 shows or whatever, like, think about Stone Cold talking to Adam Pearce for the first time. Adam Pearce is like, Stone Cold, it's an honor to work with you. What? I just want to say that. What? Like, are you kidding me? That would be so fire.
Yeah. 100% agree. Go ahead.
I'm of 2 minds. I think part of me is like, if the medical science has improved and he can wrestle, I think, he should wrestle. That's I don't think that's the case personally. I don't think he's strong enough to wrestle. When I saw it, I know a lot of people said it's a match, but in my mind, I was like, oh, he's gonna be like special guest referee for Roman's match. Like that's where my mind first went to. It was like, oh, this is gonna get so out of control because they bring him in for shit like that they're gonna need a special guest referee and it'll be Stone Cold Steve Austin. Wasn't he the one for Goldberg?
Brock, yeah, WrestleMania 20.
So something like that's what I thought it would be. Like I could see maybe a match with Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens obviously a great worker, like someone like Rollins who could like keep him safe. There's also like, if you really want to like put your nuts on the table, like eventually wants to go crazy, he could have him face The Rock, like, which would really like, you would need more than I think we have the runway to promote a match like that. I think you would literally want to do that from like the summertime, like all year basically. Yeah. And so that's, you could like really do something like that, or Triple H or whatever. But that's what I think. I think it'll be much more of like either a special guest referee type of spot, or like coming out and like helping someone out type of spot. Like maybe Randy Orton's getting jumped by fucking Braun Breaker or something. I don't know. And then Stone Cold helps him out as like old guy helping out a young guy type thing. So that's where I saw it go. Like I like people getting up in arms about it as if like Stone Cold Steve Austin is about to like have an Iron Man match against Big E. Like what are we talking about? Like are you serious? Like what could you possibly be upset about? You think Stone Cold Steve Austin about to come out here wrestling a gauntlet match for the Intercontinental title, bro? Like what are you talking about, dog? Like anything he does, like CC said, is going to be minimal. Even at his peak of wrestling, he wasn't like wrestling like Seth Rollins. Like he's not doing that, bro. You think Stone Cold Steve Austin gonna go out there and try to hit a Canadian Destroyer, bro? Like, no, he's not gonna do that. Like, I don't know what you're upset. Like, he's not dumb either. Like, yes, I understand that like he's older and like it does shatter the illusion of like him being what you thought he was when you were younger, but like it'll be fine. Like it'll be cool. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, let's take a step back and breathe.
Final free ride. So the thought is Bobby Lashley is going to lose the WWE title in the upcoming Elimination Chamber match. So being that he has been put on such a pedestal over the last 2 years now, they're gonna have him do something at WrestleMania. What is that something?
Speaking into the second half of my Stone Cold idea, I actually think that match will be a triple threat match. I think it'll be Brock v. Lashley v. Roman, and then it'll be getting so crazy where they'll be like, hey, like we need somebody to come and keep the peace. Glass breaks. It's in Dallas, and literally it's like pandemonium. And I think that'll be because I think the lead up to the match, because you don't want them to actually really wrestle that much, is just that like they cannot like keep their hands off each other. Like they're always like fighting, especially Lashley. He's always like, he's going through half the SmackDown roster. And he's like, I will face anyone you want me to face to get into this Brock and Roman match. Like I will do anything. And he'll have to go through some like 1-on-8 match to join SmackDown's roster. And he'll do that. And then he'll get like do another way to get his way into the match. Like I think that's where they're going with that for sure.
I think that's interesting because it kind of reminds me of two different situations. Obviously, he's not Daniel Bryan because he's not a small white guy who has to, who goes through a lot of adversity. But it'll be kind of like a guy sneaking into a match that he wasn't initially planned to be in. And Daniel Bryan's done that twice.
Very Daniel Bryan,
within like the last decade. But then the other thing is if you were to be in the Roman Brock match and it's still 2 titles up for grabs, it would be similar to the winners take all match at WrestleMania 35 with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey. So I'd be interested if they would want to run that back. Obviously.
Oh no, I think he's losing. I think both of them are losing the Elimination Chamber. Okay. I think AJ Styles is winning the Elimination Chamber. Yeah, I think that's the Elimination Chamber is the perfect way to pivot with everyone still looking good. You can have enough chicanery. Like I think Roman is not going to be in Saudi Arabia because of the travel and shit.
Well, no, he's facing Goldberg.
I'm tripping. I'm dumb as hell. I think he's going to be involved at the end of that match. I think that storyline is going to feed directly into his storyline with Brock, and I think his interference will probably also cost Bobby, and so Bobby will be then mad at both of them. And so then he'll be like, no, I need you cost me something. Now I want what you have. And he'll literally be putting Adam Pearce in a hurt lock to get it, type shit. And then that would be cool too. Cause then you can have, promos with Heyman, MVP, V Brock. And that would be really fun.
Shannon, I'm on the same wavelength as you. The only thing I think is it won't be a a triple threat match. But Bobby is gonna come in still and be there and try to cost I think he's gonna try to cost Brock the championship, but he's gonna mess up. I think he's gonna mess up in a way, and that's not really gonna work, and you're gonna think that Brock is gonna win, but also at the same time, I think someone from Roman's past is gonna come and help him in a way that you didn't see coming. Or whatever.
Cody
I don't
Rhodes?
think a stable is. Yeah.
Hey, if they got Mox though, I would pop. If Dean Ambrose came out, I would pop.
Listen,
that would be fire. That would be
that was I had 2 names. It was Seth and him. Because the thing is if you have Seth come out and help Roman's gonna be confused. Now Seth really lives in this nigga's head. Because then they've had a match. He was trying to take the championship away from him, but then he come and he helped him keep the championship. So
only I can beat you type shit. Yeah, that's hard.
Exactly. So yeah, that's how I see it going down or whatever. I see Bobby getting involved and then Seth being like, nah, I'm taking that from Roman. That's my Universal Championship, blah, blah, blah. And then obviously once Seth get involved and Brock and Roman are there, there's so many fucking callbacks that you can do or whatever. So yeah, that's gonna go stupid.
I'm curious if they would overbook the Roman Brock match that much. WWE is crazy enough to do that, but at the same time, I feel like they really want this series finale between the two to just be them. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be real interesting.
I guess I don't think it's going to be the series finale. I think the last Brock Roman match will be something they called it that. It will be this one last time Roman v Brock. It will be that type of thing. I think, especially because the way Brock is on such a heater right now, with his promos and just his character work he's doing right now, he's giving it enough juice. But this match is truly nothing like any of their other matches. It's so different where you could have basically a whole new series of now babyface Brock v Roman matches versus the other ones.
Okay. Well, I would love to see it again in some way, shape, or form. I do think Brock's gonna end up beating Roman at Mania, and I've said for a while I want to see Psycho Roman Reigns without the title. I want to see him beat up the Usos and force them out of the family, or the Usos end up turning on him because he's just talking too crazy to them and beating them up, and him even getting crazy with Heyman. Because I don't know, part of me just doesn't feel like Brock and Heyman are done. I just don't feel like those two are done as a duo. It's too many years invested. So we'll see. But to get into our rewrite, we are talking WWE NXT once again, getting into War Report territory. So for those unfamiliar, for those who just started watching years ago, NXT started in February 2010. It's been around for 12 years. Very crazy to say and think about. I remember when it first started. It was the new developmental territory because the FCW had disbanded, and initially it was televised weekly as a elimination-based seasonal competition where rookies competed to be WWE superstars, and they were assigned WWE pros as their mentors. And through through NXT, we were introduced to guys like Daniel Bryan, Wade Barrett, Heath Slater, Skip Sheffield, aka Ryback, David Otunga, Xavier Woods. And when they abandoned the pro rookie mentors thing, we then were introduced to guys like Big E, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, Damian Priest, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Bianca Belair. Essentially, everyone who's important in WWE now has come up through NXT. Aside from
wait, Armand, WWE doesn't make stars, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh, right.
How is that possible?
You're right. Yeah.
How is that possible that everyone in the company who's popping came out? There's just no way.
You smoking that shit, man. What made you think they made stars?
There's no way.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I had a long day, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not. I must be trying to get a job from WWE. That's why.
Must be.
That's why I'm saying
fucking shill. He's a shill. This guy's a shill.
But the original winners of NXT before it transitioned, Wade Barrett won season 1, Cabal won season 2. Do you remember Cabal?
I thought you made that up. I was like, it's not a person. Cabal? No, yeah. He made that up. He's trying to be fun.
Caitlyn won season 3, and then Johnny Curtis, who I don't remember at all, unless he goes by a new name in some other company. I don't remember. He won season 4. In 2002, they moved to Full Sail University, and they functioned a bit more similarly to SmackDown and Raw. They held their first pay-per-view NXT Arrival in 2014. It was their first live wrestling event on the WWE Network. 2014 was also when they launched the TakeOver pay-per-view series. They expanded beyond just doing the takeovers in Florida in 2015 with the classic Barclays events. They went to New Orleans. They even went to London in December of 2015. They became officially recognized as the third brand in September 2019, moving to a 2-hour format and being shown again on television because they were on the WWE Network from like 2014 to 2019. And they ended up joining USA. And they began a talent exchange with 205 Live, which brought the Cruiserweight title into NXT as well. Some big moments they had Halftime Heat, which occurred on the day of the Super Bowl in 2019. That was where we saw Adam Cole, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano take on Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, and Aleister Black, which was a great match. If y'all haven't seen the Halftime Heat match, great match. Definitely check that out.
Incredible spot fest.
Yeah. NXT competed directly with Raw and SmackDown at Survivor Series 2019. Still one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. Just so many great moments, so many great matches. And after Charlotte Flair won the 2020 Royal Rumble, she elected to face Rhea Ripley for the NXT title at WrestleMania 36, which then made the NXT World title an option for the Royal Rumble winners. They relaunched as NXT 2.0 in September of 2021 with a new set, logo, new faces, and they discontinued the TakeOver pay-per-views. And some signature NXT events have included War Games, the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and they've got more titles now, the NXT Tag Team titles, the NXT Women's Tag Team titles, the North American title. They had the $1 Million Championship was around for a while. So they've really expanded into their own thing, and obviously NXT 2.0 has been extremely polarizing for the people. Some people hate it. Some people love it. I don't really get why you would hate it. I think a lot of people are upset that their favorite wrestlers on the indies got released. And, they're trying to make people with compelling characters who don't just do flips and hops and high spots, but they actually can talk on the mic and they're actually interesting beyond the 30 to 45 minute classics that they've had. But so what we are discussing is if NXT 2.0 never happened and the black and gold continued, how would the show look? Who would be on top? How would you introduce the characters that are the prominent people now?
Oh man, I took this like so differently, dog. So what I took it is that so first and foremost, I totally agree with you on NXT 2.0. Only thing I don't like is that I have to call it NXT 2.0. I feel like eventually I should just call it NXT. It's weird that I'm still calling it that. But I took it as more so not that I had to introduce the new people. It's what other direction could they have taken the whole company instead, basically.
Hey, bro, that's fine. You do it how you do it. Do it how you do it.
All right, sweet. All right, so for context, this is not what I would have liked to have happened. I want to make that very clear. This is not what I like to happen. This is what I just think is the alternate timeline. In the the multiverse where the tree branches off, this is what other thing you could have had. So NXT 2.0, like you said, premiered in the late fall of Sorry, 2021.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, 2021. So around that time, if you don't know, Ring of Honor, well, it was around actually with the end of the year, but they announced in the wintertime that they were releasing all of their wrestlers. So I think what you could do is instead of going the basically athlete, like kind of WWE style route that they've taken, the other route you could have taken is just doubling down on like wrestling Twitter indie stuff. So I think what you do is so you basically have John Grisham, who I'm using as my avatar for Ring of Honor Wrestling. He's the current Ring of Honor World Champion, quote unquote current. And I think he is like the most like WWE, like he has a character that I think you could translate very clearly into WWE. And he's also like unique enough where it's like people wouldn't be like, oh, that's just blank. It's like, okay, he's this new person who's like kind of interesting. Obviously, he's black, which, you know, I'm a supporter of all black wrestlers. And he just like, I think could talk well enough and has a cool kind of like gimmick. He comes over and this is after Ciampa wins the vacated NXT champion after Samoa Joe drops the title. He comes over. So here's the story. So on August 22nd, 2021, like I said, Samoa Joe vacates NXT title due to injury. There's later a 4-way title match in September 14th of 2021. LA Knight, Tommaso Ciampa, Von Wagner, who I guess is still in the storyline because why not? And Pete Dunne are all in that match. I'm still having Ciampa win said match, but again, this is like that match was kind of like the beginning of NXT 2.0. This is just like a regular NXT episode. At the end of said episode, John Grisham comes out, attacks Tommaso Ciampa, who is our newly crowned NXT champion. He basically goes into this promo of how like wrestling has become too gimmicky and too entertainment focused. It's lost a lot of like the actual like heart of wrestling, which is like part of his like real like wrestling gimmick is this whole pure wrestling thing. And so he's like, basically wrestling has become this entertainment for kids. It's not about the sport. It's not about the love of the game. I'm here to bring that back. I'm here to bring honor back to wrestling. That's his whole thing. Honor back to wrestling. And so him and Tommaso Ciampa have this feud at NXT Halloween Havoc. Gresham loses to Ciampa, but it's one of those situations where within the match, the referee gets knocked out. There's clearly an opportunity where Gresham could have won the match, but he does not. Ciampa then ends up getting the victory, so the feud continues. Still, there's this whole thing of like, you know, Gresham being like, these wrestlers here aren't good enough. Like, they're not pure enough wrestlers. His matches are all very like fundamentally sound like kind of like a young Kurt Angle wrestling machine type angle where it's like, no, I'm a wrestler. Like what y'all do is like some cute gimmicky stuff, but he's kind of like rolling through some of NXT like higher midweights, you know, your LA Knights of the world. At that, like, who would you have? Bronson Reed, Santos Escobar, you know, that level of people. Then you get your NXT New Year's Evil. In this match, Grisham ends up actually defeating Ciampa as he's become the avatar for wrestling Twitter with help of the Honor Club, which now basically you get to run back WWE's invasion angle instead of using Ring of Honor people and WWE Ring of Honor and NXT instead of WWE and WCW. I'm not super into Ring of Honor. I never pretend to be. I only know what I see on YouTube and Twitter. But a couple of notable people I think they should bring over. Shane Taylor is someone I do follow a lot. I think he's everything. I love Shane Taylor. I wish WWE saw him right now. I think he's such a good talker. His gimmick is cool. He looks so different. Like I love his moveset, all that. Roxy is a cool female wrestler I've seen before. Like I said, Jonathan Grisham. There's people like the Briscoes, Bandito, who are real popular. One thing I think that would be really dope, though, is some of the gimmicks that Ring of Honor has. First, they have like a pay-per-view called Final Battle, which I think is fire. So I think if you had NXT Final Battle, it's just a cool name. And then also they have the TV title, which I think would be dope. Like, I think one thing NXT could lean more into is having more stuff on television. Like, one thing AEW does consistently that is better than WWE is a lot of important stuff happens on free TV. And I think that NXT can be WWE's place for that. So if you have like a TV title, you just have more opportunities for title changes and big moments on regular free television, which I think is something that WWE does need. Also, they have like the Pure Wrestling title, which like you might want to change that, but I think that's kind of a cool thing too, of being like, there's this specific way of wrestling that you can win this title. Like, I think the issue with like something like a cruiserweight is that it's like too dependent on like the physical stature, which is like, isn't cool to see just small people. But if it's like, no, only people who can do blank can win this, that makes it more like, oh, it's just like an old school wrestling type thing. So that's another thing I would have done too with NXT is bring in more titles, bring in more like sports competition to it where there's like different types of ways to win. And like I said, had to run your whole invasion angle. So that's what I would do with basically my Ring of Honor 2.0, and I'm calling it.
Invasion angle. I like that shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's been long enough. The kids don't remember it. They don't know. And it's like it's always cool seeing like new people just be like, no, we're taking over. Like it's always cool. From Becky Lynch to NXT it's all in DX. It's always cool. The big group shots of people walking into the arena. It's always a good way to introduce new people. You just have easy ways to start up new feuds. You can just always throw different people into matches, new pairings and stuff. I just think it's a dope angle. And like again, NXT is, while it's obviously an equal brand, it's the place where you can try out stuff like that. Like you can have an invasion, see how it works, see what sticks. You're not super committed to putting them on Fox every week. These people aren't out there with Titus Young, at the Super Bowl. This is a bit lower stakes. So I think, run the NXT angle. Make it cool. Again, put big stuff on free TV. That's a big thing, like a big push, I think, that they should have.
Okay.
I like that.
CC, what you got for us?
Quick question for everyone who's listening. Do you love wrestling? Was wrestling one of those places where, from the time you were younger to maybe even now, you could find solace and peace and kind of like a home and somewhere where you can really just, be yourself, in a world where, you might be alone. You have a world where you have millions of comrades and people that you can talk about your favorite things with and enjoy things with. Is wrestling that for you? Because if it is, I'm about to fucking ruin it. Welcome to NXT. First, right off the bat, Shawn Michaels super kicks Triple H. Shawn Michaels now runs NXT. Like he also super kicks William Regal. William Regal is out of a job. Shawn Michaels is there. Of course, William Regal is like still working at WWE, but like on the front end, it's Shawn
for show
Michaels.
Purposes.
Shawn Michaels is running and shit. And if you've ever watched Shawn Michaels run shit before, shit can get pretty crazy.
Always ends poorly.
Off the bat, Austin Theory is sending Adam Cole to AEW. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. The blue chip is here. Goodbye. Boom. Santos and Theory go on to put on a 3-part classic. What? Santos ends up getting the championship at some point, but it's not during the classic. I'll let you guys know when that comes. Pete Dunne and Bronson Reed form a heel tag team and dominate with the titles. Then they end up losing to Roddy and Swerve. What the hell is going on here? Oh, I know what's going on. Leon Ruff becomes the North American champion by defeating Braun Breaker. He goes heel to win and becomes one of NXT's greatest heel characters. You have never seen no shit like this in your life. LA Knight is a tweener, and he's on Raw and NXT for like 6 months, and then he just goes to SmackDown. LA Knight is fucking LA Knight. Get over it. Timothy Thatcher, Ciampa, Escobar, and Austin Theory, they put on a classic fatal 4-way. And remember when I talked about who was going to win that championship? Wrong. Timothy Thatcher steals the NXT championship. Whoa, didn't see that coming. Uh-oh. And next thing we know, some people, when it's cold out, they like to put on jackets, but fuck jackets. Kushida says fuck jacket time. He recruits Odyssey Jones to be his muscle. He forms a clique in NXT. Io Shirai is on that shit. Cameron Grimes is in that motherfucker. Grimes ends up betraying the clique, and then he goes to the moon. And then Candice LeRae and Dakota Kai have a feud over the title, but then Mandy comes back and then steals it, only for Wendy Chu to get an opportunity at the title. And because of an interruption from Kaden Carter, Wendy wins. Wendy then forms a stable with Kaden and Casey, and they become the female NWO of NXT. You did not see that shit coming, did you? And then last but not least, Raquel Gonzalez wins the North American Championship in a squash match against Leon Ruff.
This is what happens when you play WWE SmackDown versus Raw and you make a pay-per-view and just put it on random. Like this, just shuffle.
Wow.
So here's the reasoning behind my rewrite is I looked at this premise or whatever, and I thought about it, and I was like, wait, if you do that or whatever, I was gonna go the same route as you, Chan, and I was gonna logically put some like, yeah, this person would probably go here or whatever. Then I remember what fucking show this was, and I was like, nah, how about we actually have some real shit happen? Some real crazy shit.
Wow.
That's insane.
No explanation.
But I do think it would be cool seeing Shawn more on TV. Like if that was
what I'm
like
saying.
if that was kind of like a thing of Sean just being like if that's how you get from NXT 2.0 to back to NXT, being like, okay, like this was fun, but like now I'm here, like I'm gonna see who the real wrestlers are, who's really here to compete, and like that's the little promo he kicks off. You don't have to change the set or anything, but I do think Sean, because like without Triple H, you do kind of miss Triple H being there, being like, oh, like this is his thing. So Sean, I think helps that. But the thing is, Sean can't talk as well. Sean be saying some kind of wild shit sometimes.
Wow, I'm overwhelmed by all that. Like Theory champion, Raquel squashing Leon Ruff, Pete Dunne, Bronson Reed team sounds pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds hard. I'm not going front. That shit sounds pretty hard.
They do have similar gear. Like they wear like maroon, singlets.
Yeah, like in a very weird, twisted way, that shit would work. It would really work, especially with like
the
Pete,
singlet stable.
Pete as the lead, telling Bronson what to do, like sicking Bronson on people. Wow.
Yeah, New Zealand, like Britain.
Wow.
Yeah, they got ties.
Birmingham.
I'm a little overwhelmed by that, but I'm gonna try to regroup and give y'all my rewrite. So in my rewrite, Triple H is still at the helm of NXT. It's still the black and gold. And if y'all remember, before it moved to Tuesdays, we were engaged in something called the Wednesday Night Wars.
Oh my God.
NXT and AEW. Now, there were some moments, AEW guys like to throw little shots in their promos. Cody Rhodes, at one of their first pay-per-views, destroyed a throne with a sledgehammer, stuff like that. So after 2 years of just little jabs and shots and AEW thinking that they're winning the ratings war because they have the demographic, Triple H comes out to open NXT one night. And he says, look, I'm tired of y'all talking shit. You shouldn't have been talking shit. So if y'all want this Wednesday Night War to really be a war, y'all can come see us. Like, what's up? The next week, there's a main event championship match between Finn Balor and Adam Cole. And just as Finn Balor is about to win the match, some former NXT guys who are currently in AEW come and jump both of them. So that's Aleister Black. That's Andrade. That's Pac is there. They even send Miro over.
Oh, you mean AEW Dark guys? Gotcha.
Right. Sorry.
Like, these
yes.
guys are on AEW.
Yeah. AEW Dark guys. But like,
wow.
but Tony and Cody specifically send the former WWE guys to do it to really get under Triple H's skin, because Triple H built these guys. He coddled them. He really loved them. So like, even Triple H comes out, tries to help, like throws his suit jacket off. He manages to get a pedigree off on Andrade, but he turns around to a black mask. So Triple H, the week after that, he's like, all right, so y'all got us. That's cool. We have a pay-per-view coming up called hold up. We have a pay-per-view coming up called War Games. So I want y'all to send some guys over there. We're going to have some inter-company matches. So there's a match set up between the former guys that came over and the Undisputed Era. So Andrade, Aleister, Miro, and Pac versus Undisputed Era. Undisputed Era is still together. There is Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, whatever their names are.
The Good Brothers.
Yeah, the Good Brothers come over. They have a match with Creed Brothers are there at this point. Like Malcolm Bivens is managing them. Creed Brothers are there. There's just a bunch of different intercompany matches. Some really fun, fancy matchups, like even Raquel Gonzalez versus Britt Baker, Jade versus who's Jade?
Bianca.
But Bianca's on the main roster, so I'm trying to keep it people who are on NXT.
She could face Io Shirai.
Sure. Jade versus Io. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff happening. Yeah. Now, the big moment comes in the War Games match because Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks come out during the War Games match to try and help their guys. So some NXT guys come out. Finn Balor comes out to help. Ciampa and Gargano are sent up to the main roster at this point. It's like, yo, y'all been down here enough, so go up. But like, Finn Balor comes out, LA Knight comes out, a bunch of guys come out to help NXT. The whole War Games match just devolves. It's craziness. The Undisputed Era turns on NXT and joins Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. So it's madness. It's madness. AEW has the upper hand right now. Somehow AJ Styles is at the pay-per-view. He comes out to try and help his guys. The Good Brothers come out. They end up turning on AEW, joining AJ Styles. So things are a little more even at this point. But it's this all-out war. Like everyone's going at it. Triple H comes out. Cody comes out. Triple H and Cody get it shaken. They're like, and it's just madness. Like bodies laid out everywhere. So over the next couple months, that they keep having some intercompany matches. Triple H and Cody are doing promos against one another, and they decide at the upcoming WrestleMania, we're inviting you AEW guys. Cody and Triple H have a match. The Undisputed Era, who are now in AEW, have a match against some new guys that came into to NXT. By this time, Carmelo Hayes is there, Braun Breaker is there, Grayson Waller is there, and they just have they make a whole pay-per-view out of it. Like War Games went crazy. War Games was supposed to be crazy, and then people turned on one another. So at WrestleMania, NXT and AEW have a couple slots. NXT ends up winning it, of course, and AEW has to go back to their corner and figure things out. And Cody's like, man, like I really had a lot of faith in y'all. You guys let me down, so I'm gonna have to leave the company. And Mox is like, yeah, me too. So Mox leaves, Jericho leaves, and AEW is left to just figure it out. Tony Khan is sitting in his room counting his money and trying to book matches, but he don't got much good talent left because no one cares about Adam Cole anymore. Kyle O'Reilly's mid. Bobby Fish is hurt all the time. Roderick Strong Roderick's cool. They can figure things out with Roderick. But I also think that there's some big money matches that you could have within that, like Odyssey Jones versus Powerhouse Hobbs. CM Punk comes back. So you have CM Punk versus Pete Dunne. You have CM Punk versus Knight.
LA Knight.
CM Punk versus LA Knight. And
I see Hangman Page wrestle too.
Yeah,
so
but right. And essentially at the core of this, it's AEW's NXT is tired of all the shit talk. They're tired of AEW thinking that they can compete. They don't care about the demo. They care about putting on good wrestling. You got a bunch of indie guys over there. We got indie guys over here. So let's put up or shut up. And we get some really fun pay-per-views out of that. So, yeah. It's
only
the
thing
most... Go ahead.
Only thing you forgot is that Tony Khan is definitely booking himself into something.
Probably.
Probably a match against Shane, but that's definitely happening. If there's a WrestleMania where people are participating, he's definitely wrestling someone, and probably Shane McMahon. If not Vince, honestly.
Shane gonna beat that nigga ass.
Yeah, Shane's really big. Shane's way bigger than Tony Khan.
Bruh.
That'll be a good tag team match. Triple H and Shane versus Cody and Tony Khan. That'll be good.
I like your idea. You know what the funny thing about your idea is on top of everything, WWE comes out looking like they win even before they win because everything's happening on their
everything's
show.
happening on there. I was thinking that too. I was like, nothing's happening on any AEW stuff. It's all on like WWE properties. I was like, they're getting what benefit does AEW give this? Like no one's coming to AEW.
And it's funny because when I thought about that, I'm like, why would they let that happen? And I thought about who they are, and I'm like, nah, they would let that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, Impact let that happen. So
yeah. Ain't nobody going to no all out, ain't no double or nothing. Nah, you got to come to our turf. It's an away game for you. So yeah. I think you just lean into the whole Wednesday Night Wars competition because the AEW stands would love to see that. I think the WWE and NXT stands would love to just shut them up, like for good, like for once and for all. So yeah, you just get it popping. There's a lot of, even if AEW is a little mid to me, like there's a lot of fun matches and fun storylines you create out of that, and friendships that you could play off of. So yeah, that's my rewrite. Now